Hello everyone, welcome to RPA Solution channel. In this video, I'm going to explain how we can able to call a builder or other Cloudflow connectors from the Power Automate desktop. Usually, we will call the desktop host from the cloud using the registration of the machine, and we will can able to trigger the desktop flows using the Cloudflow. But there are no direct actions, so we can able to call cloud flows from the desktop. We can use the HTTP request or response methods, and which will generate the HTTP post URL, which will be utilizing inside the invoke web services from the Power Automate desktop. So in order to call a builder actions or other Cloudflow, let me quickly create a HTTP request trigger, and we can call any other name. You can simply create this one. Switch back to the old designer, which I will be getting used when we create this particular trigger, or we're adding this trigger. We will be getting HTTP post URL, and this URL will be utilizing inside the invoke web services action. So for who can able to trigger the flow, you can simply click any user or anyone, and once we add it will require some the JSON schema for to use the input variables or output variables. Simply create one variable from the JSON script. If it is a string, we can use inside the string variables. If it is a number, you can simply type the number amount. Once we created our requirement variables, you can simply click done. It will auto populate the schema data. Two different variables I created. One is a string and another one is an integer. Next step will be we will adding the response, whichever the request we are doing. Response action or triggers, can type full name. Yeah, this is the one we need to select. What it will do is simply whenever the request is invoked, it will be receiving the status, whether it's a 200 means success or 400, 401, 403, depending upon the type of failures we are getting. Generally 200 means it's successfully invoked the Cloudflow, or the request is received. We can our body format we can give, and we can whatever the output variables from the pad, we can be able to send it back to from and to the cloud flows. And HTTP, and we can simply click save button to generate the URL. Once we click the save, as you can see, the URL will be generated. You can simply copy this one, go back to our Power Automate desktop, create a new flow, and initiate or set a variable, and copying that URL here. As you can see, the value will showing as invalid because the syntax of this particular. We will be quickly modifying that one. Before that, let me just quickly change the variable name. And here, if you see, there are the syntax related to the particular website. We need to either reversing this one using the regular slash to get it as per the syntax, or otherwise you can use the symbol. Can simply change it back to the slash. So once we change it, you can quickly save, and the next action we required was to get the output variables or the actions we want to transfer the particular output variables to cloud. So simply create another two variables which we created in the cloud. So where one can give any name. Simply copy paste this action, and we will be creating this second variable as integer. This will be passed as output to the cloud. Next action will be the invoke web services action. The URL will be the requested URL we are using from the HTTP request. So you can simply already created that inside a variable. You can simply use that variable. The method will be the post because we are calling desktop to cloud. We will be using the post method. Accepted format we will be using as a JSON because the content we are doing. You can simply type the JSON and the requested body. Here we can assign the variable formats from the cloud flow. We created two variables in the cloud, right? We will just assign the values based upon that. The exact values we need to pass inside the desktop flow. So put one and int. These are the two variables I created. You can simply pass those. Put one, and it will be a string. You can use the variable like this and integer. Like this way, you can simply click save. Before that, we need to uncheck one more one. Encode the requested body. If we should need to uncheck, otherwise sometimes the syntax errors or related content for the JSON format will get affected. You can simply click uncheck, click on save, and let me just put inside the quotation as this is the string where will be defined. This is the one, and when we are adding the two variables, okay. Next, we will defining the one more variables in the cloud, initializing the variable. This variable will be considered as input to the Power Automate desktop. Instead of testing, we can able to pass between the two systems or three systems from the cloud to Power Automate or Power Automate desktop to the cloud. So you can simply give them name and the string value. Next we will be calling the AI Builder actions as I told you in this video. In order to add the AI Builder actions, we need one OneDrive folder where we are keeping the output file, where we are storing the data of the extracted invoices. This AI Builder action, we are extracting these three information fields. For suppose, as you can see here in the screen, so invoice ID or the invoice company name, and I will be extracting the total balance due. These are the three things I will be extracting using the AI Builder. Let me quickly add that action. So the file path we will be providing inside the AI Builder, we will get as the how we can able to get that file. So I will be using the OneDrive action to get the file content. So not the OneDrive for business. If you are already using OneDrive for business, you can use it. Otherwise, I'm using a regular OneDrive. We'll be getting the input file path for particular thing and get file content using the path. And this is the action we will need to use. The file path will be it's under test folder, and this is the invoice we are getting extracted. Next action we will be adding a builder, extract invoice, extract information from the invoices. This is the pre-built model. We can use it directly without creating a customer. The invoice input will be the file content which we are getting from the OneDrive. So we added how we need to once this information is extracted, where we need to save it will be inside the one of Excel. So this is the Excel file I created, and we need a minimum of one table. It need to pass the data to that particular table, related columns or cell values. Okay, let me quickly add another action. Excel online. Here also again, either you can use Excel online OneDrive or business. I will be using Excel online OneDrive. Add a row into a table. I need to select the particular path of the table. It will be inside a test folder, and book one is the one. And the table name, whatever the table you are giving. This is the table I created. In this table we have the three different values, and whatever the information we extracted, it will be auto populated in the dynamic content. You can simply type. So if you type the name, it will be the customer name, and if you type the ID, it will be the invoice ID or the customer ID. We will be extracting the invoice ID and the total amount of balance due. So you can simply type the invoice total. These are the three fields we extracted from the invoice. The same three fields I will be passing back to the Power Automate desktop. You can simply type and use the, whether you can use the existing Excel values or whether you can directly pass that extracted information from the A builder. Be passing customer name, ID, invoice ID, and the total value. This way, these values can be going as the input parameters or the parameters which is going to the Power Automate desktop. And whatever the data we added here, these values will be considered as outputs, and we can able to pass back to the Cloudflow. So that's what we added, initializing of this variable. And to get those values, we can simply create another action, set variables. We will be setting the variable values as input and another integer. So this will be which you are getting from the Power Automate desktop. Okay, that's it. It looks good, and let me quickly save and try to run it. This is an automated flow. Whenever there is a request is received from Power Automate desktop or HTTP response, this flow will be automatically getting triggered. So let me just quickly save and run from the Power Automate desktop. We are using the same URL and the same variables, so we are passing from the desktop. Only if you see any errors related to the syntax and all, you can just quickly uncheck the encode request body. And let me run. from here it will take some time, like 5 to 10 seconds, because it is calling the cloud flow. Let me see how, whether it's running this particular cloud flow or not. Yeah, as you can see, it is getting run. You can see the status by clicking that particular log. As you can see, there are some of the steps which is already completed, and it is extracting the information from the invoice in the AI builder. The similar way, you can use the other Cloudflow connectors to get it past the data. Once we have the information, it will be getting back from Power Automate Desktop to Cloudflow using the variables. As you can see, the status code which we returned as a 200, it is a success. If you see anything like 400 or 401, 403, so there is some issue which is related to the technical code, or the which is a sign-in issue. So that's the reason we need to use the particular user inside the tenant to get it run. Let me see the particular response we received. Yeah, this is the extraction data we did. One is the customer name and the invoice ID and the total balance due. The same is added inside the one of the Excel which we stored inside the OneDrive. Yeah, as you can see, the previously we have one line, and currently the same data is getting extracted and stored inside the another row. This is the way we can able to use cloud flows calling from the desktop flow. Thank you guys. If you have any doubts, please reach out to me in the comments, or you can reach out to me the mail which is I mentioned in the description. Thank you so much.